Hello and welcome back to Dreamwalker Tarot. My name is Dawn and this is the July reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mercury. We're going to go ahead and pull 5 cards from the Lenormand Oracle deck for this month for you guys. And the first card that comes out is the Ship card, the Child card, the Garden. That seems to be coming out a lot. I'm gonna take those. Came out chunked up together and didn't fall out. We need 2 more cards from Spirit. And okay, so at the center of this is the Garden card, right? Which is an indication of like a social gathering, a social meeting, you know, just kind of like being social, being out and about, socializing, right? And then we have the Ship card, which is an indication of like a trip. This would be like a social trip. Some of you are traveling to visit your child. If your child does not live in the same space or state or place as you, you might be taking a trip to visit your child. I don't know, this is weird because it's weird that on the other side of this Child card is the Fox card, because the Fox card is an indication of being cunning, being stealth, kind of like keeping things you know, under your vest and not really being completely open or honest or truthful about a situation. And that could also be related to your finances with the Fish card here. So you might be kind of like taking a trip where financially you're probably not in the best state to do so, but you're doing it anyway. I feel like you might be spending money that you don't necessarily need to spend. And so that is kind of like playing out with this trip. Like you might be planning a trip, or you might be on a trip, but you should probably check your finances in order to really determine if this trip is one that you should be taking, especially if you are doing it to take your child out of town. This trip that you're taking might be going to someplace new. It has a sense of newness, a sense of innocence, like you might not have been there before, but you might be going to network or to kind of like establish like some sort of it feels like a networking type of opportunity, and it's not something that you're really familiar with or really comfortable with. So I feel like there's a little bit of hesitation with that. So that is for some of you, right? I feel like you might not necessarily trust the space that you're in because of your unfamiliarity with the space, right? But this is like a new type of venture for you, a new type of opportunity. This could be business. This could be a business opportunity in the sense that it might be like you doing something new for a business, like a networking type event that is unfamiliar to you, and so you're moving kind of cautiously with that because you're unfamiliar. There's also the sense that some of you might just be kind of like being very cautious about your finances, but these 2 cards are also an indication of being selfish with your money, or having a selfish outlook about how you spend your money, or for some of you just being a little bit greedy. I'm just gonna say, right? Being a little bit greedy. And that's kind of like the messages that are coming out. So we're going to go ahead and look at the traditional Rider Waite. We're going to pull some cards there and see what this new spread is going to say. All right. So what is currently happening for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Mercury this month? What does Spirit want us to know? Okay. You see? So just really kind of like being tight with your money, right? You're being tight with your money, but you're traveling. So I don't know how that's supposed to work. You know, this is like an indication that you're like really holding on to your finances. You know, finance is like a huge thing for you this month, and I feel like you're being really greedy with your finances. That's funny that that card came out. What's crossing you is the Knight of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups. So some of you might be kind of like moving out of a situation where you felt like something was missing, particularly when it came to the realm of finances, and you feel, or you felt like, you're actually carrying the weight of responsibility when it comes to financial responsibility of like taking care of the finances within your household. It feels like you have to be selfish, or you feel like you have to be selfish with your finances because you're the one that's kind of like taking care of the bulk of the financial responsibility. But I don't necessarily feel like you're saying it. I feel like you're acting it out and you're acting like it. It might be something that you're keeping to yourself. Or for some of you, you might be considering walking away from a situation because, I mean, Taurus, financial, I don't want to say financial possessions are important to you, but I feel like living good is important to you. And so if you don't have the opportunity to live the way that you want to live, I feel like the option of walking away from a situation, if you're not able to live the way you want, is definitely on the table for you, especially when you feel like you're going through more financial hardships than you would like. And so that kind of feels like that's playing out, right? For you guys this month. So what is the past of this situation for Taurus? What is the past? So as I don't know why there's so much plane flying right now. As I was just shoveling, the Two of Cups in the reverse came out, which was interesting. But in the past, I feel like you had a lot of options that were available to you. Let me get a clarification. Yeah, but it feels like you wanted to kind of like turn over a new leaf and have a new start. Even though you had a lot of options available to you, I feel like you kind of wanted to kind of like stray away from that. And so this is the reason why you are where you're at right now. But now I feel like you might be feeling a little bit dissatisfied because your finances aren't necessarily where you would like it to be. I did see the Two of Cups, even though it didn't come out. I did see it when I was shuffling. And so that could be because you feel that way about the dynamics of the relationship that you did choose to be in after having all the options. Okay. In the conscious realm, this is the Tower in reverse. So the Tower reverse is a little bit differently. I feel like the Tower reverse is usually like everything falls apart, right? And it's never a card that anybody ever wants to see because it means that Spirit is removing things, people, situations out of your life in order to basically rejigger it so that the foundation that you have, the foundation that is built on, is one that is solid. But in the reverse, it kind of feels like this is an internal shift that you're going through. This is an internal mindset that you're struggling with. Again, like I said earlier, I felt like you weren't necessarily talking about it. You weren't necessarily talking about the weight of the responsibilities that you might feel. But I do feel like there's like an internal thing happening where you're kind of like struggling with it or trying to figure out the best way to deal with that, right? But I do feel like a sense and a fear about, you know, being able to manage all the responsibilities that you have. Some of you might be trying to like, you know, venture into new avenues of making money. And so you might be taking a trip that is kind of geared towards developing business connections, or developing a business, or working on trying to promote your business this month. And so in the subconscious realm, we have the Ace of Wands here, and then we have the Two of Wands. So this is really like a planning stage, right? Again, with the Two of Wands, we could be contemplating taking a trip across seas, or just a trip in general, but really just in a stage of like planning a business. You might be trying to work out the details of planning like an online business, or really trying to establish a new way of working on a business that you currently have, but really kind of like focusing on new ideas, cultivating new ideas in order to sustain and make a business grow, right? What is the final outcome? I'm not going to take that because the final outcome is the Three of Wands. So yeah, I feel like you're in this stage where you're really planning. We have the Three of Wands, and then we have the King of Wands in reverse. So you're really in like the planning stages of you know, of trying to develop a business. Again, there's a sense here of a trip, of a journey. In this card, I don't know if you can see it, there's a bunch of ships, right? So this is like the planning stage, the stage where you're kind of like really taking the time to figure it out. And I feel like you're a little bit nervous about it because it is new for you. Like this is a new stage and a new chapter in your life. The King of Wands in the upright is a very confident individual, a very confident person. And I do kind of feel like at this stage, you might not necessarily be as confident as you would like to be, because it is a new venture for you, right? For some of you, you could be planning a trip with a fire sign individual, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or you could just be planning a trip during Aries season, or during Leo season, or, you know, during Sagittarius season. So those are some of the things that could be happening for you. But I really do kind of feel like it's kind of like leaning more towards really just taking the time and opportunity to develop and plan this business, kind of like working out this business idea that you have, but kind of feeling a little bit insecure about your finances in the process and where things are going to go. But really trying to make a plan and really trying to move forward with that plan, with the newness, right, of this childlike energy. So what is the clarification for the Tower in reverse? I'll pull a card for that. Like, what is the clarification for the Tower in reverse for Taurus? What is the clarification? Yeah, there we go. So really, this is an internal shift. This is internal thoughts, really trying to figure out how to move forward. I feel like you have really new childlike energy, really insecure about it because you're not really that confident in it, or you're not that experienced, so this feels very new to you, and so you really don't have your like footing. But I do feel like you're in this space where internally you're doing a lot of thinking about how to grow this business ideas that you have, and really trying to develop that. And so that's really like a good space for you guys to be in. But I don't want you to like beat yourself up too much about it, because no one starts out being a professional in the things that they do, and everything that we do, you know, we start as a beginner. So a beginner eventually becomes the master if you just put in the time and the energy and you plan things out, right? So we're going to do advice cards from the shamanic healing oracle deck for you guys to get a card advice for Taurus. We got two cards. We have Ascension and we have Creativity, right? So all this like fire energy, Page of Wands, Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, Three of Wands, King of Wands is really talking about creativity at its finest, about creating something, about building something, about putting in the work of something, about collaborating, and trying to like really step it up, right? Step it up to the next level. The Ascension card is 24. We're going to see what that says. Some of those following a spiritual path have ascension as the ultimate goal. However, ascension, portrayed in art and literature, is a great leap into instant nirvana, is actually a giant work, art and fiction. Rather, ascension is the process of conscious living. We are all spiritual beings. We are all souls in a human body who are living life on this earth in order to learn and to grow at the soul's level. That is being spiritual. Whether you are conscious of it or not, you are walking towards ascension. Each experience, relationship, obstacle, joy, and creation will bring you one step closer on the ladder to where we all end, with a greater awareness of ourselves than we started out with. This situation, at its best, is a rung on the ladder of your soul's path towards ascension. So I want to show you something, right? I want to show you, when we talk about ascension, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the ace of which is like the first step, right? The idea. We're talking about the planning. That's 2. When we're talking about 3, which is like, journeying out and kind of like doing the work that needs to get done. And then we're talking about the Page of Wands, which is the next step up, just really leaning into that energy. And then ultimately we have the King of Wands. So we are working towards ascension, which would lead you being at the top of your game with the King of Wands in reverse. And right now you're not there, but you are working towards that, right? It's the plan to get to that, which is amazing. It's perfect. It's like perfect. The advice card is perfect for you guys. And the next card is Creativity 39. This is a profoundly creative time period for you. I don't know if you can see it. Let me lean it up. Whether it is in the traditional arts, music, or writing, or it could be a new curiosity of exploring a way to funnel your creative urges. To be creative, you need to access the right brain, your emotional sensing feeling center. Do this by trying things that you've never done before. Get physical, dance, doodle. When we acknowledge and act upon our impulse to create, we are aligning our will with the Creator. In this, we can experience the flow of being on our highest path. Start creating and notice how time has no meaning anymore. Hours fly by when you realize it. It is not a struggle. It is pure inspiration. This card can also signify a birth of a child or of a whole new way of being. And so with the child card here that came out earlier, don't knock the possibility that there could be the birth of a child. Okay? So that is the end of the reading for you guys, Taurus. This is a great reading. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment below and let me know how this is kind of like working out in your life. I would love to hear about it. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for post notifications. Thank you for being here again, and I will see you guys soon. Take care.